It only took one night to change both their lives forever. But neither of them even knew it yet. The rain came down hard that evening, the kind that blurred streetlights and made the city feel smaller, lonelier. Emma had just walked out of the worst day of her life. Fired from her job, her rent overdue, her phone buzzing with messages she didn't have the strength to answer. She ducked into a small bar just to escape the storm, not realizing she was stepping into a moment that would define her future. Across the room sat Daniel. Calm, composed, the kind of man who looked like he had everything under control. But tonight he didn't. A deal worth millions had just collapsed, and for the first time in years, he felt like he was losing his grip. He wasn't there to celebrate or even relax. He was there to forget. Their eyes met by accident. Two strangers, carrying invisible weight, finding a strange comfort in each other's silence. One drink turned into two. Small talk turned into laughter. And for a few hours, the world outside stopped existing. That night wasn't planned. It wasn't logical. It wasn't something either of them would normally do. But pain has a way of pushing people into moments they never expected. By morning, reality returned. Emma woke up first. The sunlight felt harsh, unforgiving. She looked at the man beside her, still asleep, and panic crept in. This wasn't who she was. This wasn't her life. Quietly, she got dressed and left, telling herself it was just a mistake, something to forget and move on from. Daniel woke up to an empty room, and a strange sense of loss he couldn't explain. He didn't even know her last name. Just a memory. Just a feeling. And then nothing. Weeks passed. Emma tried to rebuild her life. She found a small job, cut back on everything, kept her head down. But something wasn't right. The exhaustion, the nausea, the growing fear she couldn't ignore. When the test came back positive, her world stopped again. She sat there in silence, staring at those two lines. One night. One mistake. And now a life. Telling him wasn't an option. She didn't know how to find him. And even if she did, what would she say? That their brief escape from reality had created something permanent? Something real? So she made a choice. She would do this alone. Months went by, each one heavier than the last. There were nights she cried herself to sleep. Mornings she forced herself to keep going. She wasn't ready, she wasn't prepared, but she refused to give up. Then one ordinary afternoon, everything changed again. Emma was at a clinic, waiting for a routine checkup. Tired, nervous, trying to stay strong. As she stood up to leave, she accidentally bumped into someone. Sorry, she said quickly, not looking up. It's okay, the voice replied. She froze. That voice. Slowly, she looked up, and there he was. Daniel. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The air felt thick, like time itself had paused. His eyes moved from her face to her belly. And in that instant something shifted. Understanding. Shock. Realization. Emma, he said, unsure, like he couldn't believe it was real. Her heart pounded. This was the moment she had feared, and somehow also needed. I didn't know how to find you, she whispered. Daniel didn't respond right away. He just stood there, processing everything. The missing piece of a night he couldn't forget had suddenly returned. And it was bigger than he ever imagined. I've been thinking about that night, he finally said. Not as a mistake, but as something that meant more than I understood at the time. Tears filled Emma's eyes. It changed everything for me. He nodded, stepping closer, his voice softer now. For me too. I just didn't realize it yet. There was no perfect plan, no instant solution. Just two people, standing at the edge of something uncertain, but real. Daniel took a deep breath. You don't have to do this alone. Emma searched his face, looking for doubt, for hesitation. But there was none. Just sincerity. And for the first time in months, she felt something she hadn't allowed herself to feel. Hope. Because sometimes, the moments we try to forget are the ones that shape us the most. And sometimes, what begins as a mistake becomes the very thing that saves us. Life doesn't always give second chances. But when it does, it's up to us to be brave enough to take them.